Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Wondery.
Hi, everyone. Aside from our usual filthy language, this episode contains difficult discussions around intimate partner violence, homicide, and death of an infant. Please be aware. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Little Miss Recap, the podcast where John Achman and his razor are going to pop on over here and have a lot to say this episode. My name's Amy Archer. I'm here with Shabnam, my co-host, who has really taken this journey with me for this documentary.
Yeah, it was an interesting one, and I'm really excited to hear what John Achman has to say.
John Achman has a lot to say. So I want to tell a very brief story before we start of where I was this morning. So you guys know that I can't stop talking about Grace. It's everywhere. It's in my head. It's in my heart. It's in my soul. So I had to go get some breast imaging done today, right? So I had to go down to like the breast center. So I'm down there, and you know how they put you in, like you have to take off your bra and they put you in that little wrap. Right? So I'm in the waiting room, and there's like maybe 4 of us, and we're all in those little wraps, and they're all pink. Okay. And the lady comes in, and she's escorting someone else in, and she goes, "You have to go in here. You have to put on, the jacket, the cult." Or she said something about cult. I said, "Yeah, you're in the cult now." And the lady goes, "It's like that movie Grease. You're the pink ladies. Does anyone know how to hand jive?" And I was like, "Hello, I know how to hand jive."
You're like, wow, this is like exactly my dream.
It's the moment I was made for.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, yes, it's the movie Grease. We are the pink ladies. So it does follow me everywhere I go.
Yeah. It's your energy. Yeah.
It's my energy. Some people have like a pink aura. Some people have a green aura. I have a Grease aura.
Nice. I like it.
Which is just around me all the time. So what has been going on with you? I haven't seen you in a while. Have you done anything exciting? Taken any trips? Oh, you started a podcast.
Yes. I started a podcast called Chai After Dark with a couple of my good friends. And we are discussing and recapping South Asian centered stories in TV and media. And so we've been doing Indian matchmaking. And
oh my God, that's a great show.
Yeah, it's so fun. And, you know, there's so much to talk about in there. A lot of shenanigans, a lot of interesting stuff. And then this week.
That's Auntie Seema, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
70%. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 70%. Yeah. And then this week on Wednesday, which I think is yesterday for your listeners, we dropped an episode about the Ambani wedding, which I don't know if you've heard about that.
No. What is that?
It's the richest man in Asia, in India. His youngest son got married last month, and they had a $600 million wedding. And
say that again?
Yeah, they had a $600 million wedding, which is a drop in the bucket for a 122 billionaire. So,
oh yeah, okay. Right.
So, and a bunch of celebrities. Justin Bieber performed there. Rihanna performed. Andrea Bocelli performed.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, it's interesting.
Lady of a certain age, more impressed with Bocelli than Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Whoa, you got Bocelli for this?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's great. I think it's really a place where we need more voices. So I'm really happy that you guys are doing that. That's really great. So it's Chai After Dark, CHAI.
Yeah, correct.
Yes, After Dark. And they can find it anywhere.
Yep. Everywhere where you listen to podcasts.
And who are your co-hosts?
So my co-hosts are Imran. He was my wedding MC,
Oh,
and my good friend of 10 years. And he also has a startup called Great Pods, which is
I tried to meet with him at Podcast Movement, and we just couldn't make it
yeah,
work.
I
Yeah.
figured it was probably super hectic. Yeah,
Yeah, it
but
was
he was there
hectic.
as well. Yeah,
Mhm.
with his startup greatpods.co, which is like the Rotten Tomatoes for podcasts.
Yeah.
And then our other co-host is our other friend Samim, who is just has some like cutting, dry, edgy humor, and so he's
Mm.
a fun one to
Mhm.
have on there. So,
Okay. All right,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks. Yeah.
I have not had a chance to listen yet, but I'm definitely going to listen. I'm going to listen to Wednesday's episode for sure because I need to
Yeah.
know what happened at this wedding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Indian Matchmaker was great. So was, and I talk about this all the time, Family Karma.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I think eventually
Loved
we're going to
it.
get there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Loved it. All right. Are you ready to talk murder,
Yes.
infanticide, all the
Yes.
sad,
Oh,
sad
yes.
things?
Yeah.
Are we ready to, how's that for context switch?
I know, right? I'm like, okay.
So, can I get your impressions overall? Like, tell me what you came into this documentary feeling about Scott Peterson's verdict,
Yeah.
and has that changed, or do you feel the same?
Yeah. So this happened in 2003, 2004, which was my senior year of high school, my freshman year of college. So I was like hearing it, but I was, more interested in my personal life and
Sure.
my life changes. So
Sure.
I felt like he was guilty at that age, at that time, from just what I was hearing in the media, but I
Mhm.
didn't really have a lot of strong convictions about it.
Okay.
So I was like going into this, I was kind of coming at it with that, which was good. But there's a lot of things in here as like a lawyer, as a privacy person, that I don't like how the government went about things, the
Mhm.
police went about
Mhm.
things, but I don't, but I do think he's guilty.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. If anything, this documentary has made me feel more so.
Yeah, and I also watched Scott Speaks, and
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't know if I don't think the name is actually Speaks, but it's the Peacock one where he's
Mhm.
actually talking, and I thought that was going to be like very one sided towards him, but even after that, I was like, I think he did it.
Here's the thing. Not to like, I'm putting the cart before the horse here.
Hmm.
But if Scott Peterson is sitting in prison
Hmm.
and is declaring his innocence for 20 years, and Janie Peterson, who is a whole other thing,
Yeah.
is running around getting law degrees to try to free him, I feel like it would, I know they are not admissible in court, but it would
Hmm.
go a long way in the public opinion if he took a lie detector test. I'll take one now, he should say, and he should do it.
Yeah.
But he won't even do that now.
Yeah.
And I
And
feel like that is the lowest hanging fruit. Like even Casey's Anthony's parents did it.
Yeah.
And I
But
know
that's
they're not
very
admissible, but
right. It's very much for public opinion.
yes. And it
Yeah.
would go a long way. Like I bet you, I don't think he would pass it, but I bet you if he took a lie detector test and he passed it, that some of the people on the fence might be like, huh,
Yeah.
there might be something to this. And I tried to do some research to see, has he taken a polygraph test? I don't see any evidence of that. If I'm wrong, please tell me.
Yeah, no, I don't I didn't see any evidence of that, and I would guess that his lawyers would tell him not to do it.
Right, because they know he's guilty. They know he's guilty.
Well, at this point it's like he's already refused it for so long, why take the chance now?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So let's start. I have 9 pages of notes.
Yeah, I have a lot too.
Okay. All right. So as always, I'll go through. You just raise your hand, interject, cut me off, do whatever you need to do when you need to get in here. Okay.
Cool.
So this is American Murder, Laci Peterson. And then for some reason, I just have written she was 26. That hits different with me now, being 46. Like,
Yeah.
my girls are almost 18.
Mhm.
Like, it just hit. She was so young.
Yeah.
It just
And-
really hits differently with me.
And they got married really young, and I know
Mhm.
we'll talk about maybe their relationship because they talk about it in the documentary. So, but it's just I'm just like I don't think people should get married that young.
Yeah, I did the first time.
Yeah.
I think I was 20. So in the year 2001, 24. I was 24.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's start with, we open the interview with Sharon Rocha. And this is another thing. So I listened to an interview with Skye Borgman, the director, and she said that Sharon Rocha does not talk to the press. Like, she has not really
Oh,
done any interviews. Nobody's really heard from her. But Skye went to her and Sharon said, if you can promise me that this will be a Laci focused documentary.
interesting.
And before I heard that interview, I had texted Amanda and I said, I watched this and I just felt like I knew Laci so much better than I had
Mm-hmm.
before. So
Yeah.
that mission was definitely accomplished. I know Laci Peterson now is more than just a murder victim.
Yeah. Yeah. That was really, really beautiful to see. And that
Mhm.
wasn't there in the Peacock documentary.
Of course
Although
not.
a lot of the same characters in this one were in that, but definitely
Mhm.
not Lacey's mom.
So she says she cannot believe it was 20 years ago. And she says nothing can change what happened. Nothing can change the truth. So we start on Christmas Eve. Scott is calling around to see if anyone's seen Laci. Sharon heads over there. Another thing is, I'm going a little detailed into this because some of this footage and a lot of the archives here have never been seen before. So I
Yeah.
thought that was really interesting. And that's
Yeah.
what Skye Borgman said. She said, I wanted to make a documentary about the investigation itself.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this treasure trove of archival footage that no one had ever seen or had been
Okay.
out there.
Very cool. Yeah.
So Ron calls the police. Now, this is interesting because we all know Scott was fishing.
Mm-hmm.
But on
Yeah.
the 911 call, when Ron calls, because Sharon heads right over there and she says to Ron, call the police.
Mm-hmm.
She heads over there. Ron calls the police and says, my son-in-law was playing golf this morning. So he says golf,
Yeah.
which I wonder if Scott said he was playing golf, right? Okay.
Well, I started reading the 100-page California
Guys,
Supreme Court
this is
document.
why I love Shabnam so much. She'll be like, I'm on it. I'm on it. I got 10 pages of research on this. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't finish the whole 100 pages, but in there it says that he initially was supposed to go golfing, and then he told police that he changed his mind that morning and decided to go fishing. So I think
Mhm.
the family and
May
everybody
have thought he was, yeah. Okay. So Sharon says if Laci was walking the dog in the park down the street, which is what they thought, it could be
Mhm.
really dangerous. There were, in her words, there were homeless people down there, would take
Mhm.
that however you mean it. And she says it was very steep. The hill she had to come back up with the dog
Yeah.
would have been very steep. She was nervous. Like maybe she passed out. Maybe she did this.
Yeah.
So the friends hit the streets and a few neighborhood friends, Greg and Kristen, who we meet, they head over to help. Everybody is immediately mobilizing.
Mhm.
Sharon talking about the search has to stop because she gets so choked up. And let me tell you something. I cried through many areas of this documentary. I thought it was
Yeah.
really moving, especially Sharon's parts.
Yeah.
Al Brocchini is assigned the case because his kids were older and it was Christmas Eve. So, if you don't have kids, you're not worth anything in this country, I guess. So he meets Scott. He says Scott was very polite, a little weird because he's like calling me Al and trying to bro out with me right up front, which was a little
Yeah.
strange. Brocchini heads into the house. He starts looking around. Scott shows him, here's Laci's purse. Nothing's missing. Nothing's gone. He searches the cars and he says in Scott's truck bed, there's a large tarp with big umbrellas in it. So there's like 3 patio umbrellas
Yeah.
rolled up in this tarp. Now, did this raise a concern with you as a lawyer that Scott immediately offers up his parking receipt from the marina that day? Not asked for it, not going through not the portion of the program where we're going through your alibi, dude. Brocchini says, I'm just looking in the cars. And he's like, oh, I was at the marina. Here's my parking receipt. I thought that was weird.
Yeah, but so in the other documentary and some of the other side stuff I've read, it seems like they were definitely trying to rule him out, and I think Brocchini does actually say that in this one as well, that he was they were trying to rule him out, and I think that he was aware of that, and so he was basically
He picked up on it.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. So he also shows them that the day he bought the fishing pass was December 20th. Now, he did buy some lures and he said he used a silver one, but it was still in the packaging. That kind of stuff, that could just be confusion. I don't hold him to that kind of
same,
stuff.
yeah.
Scott brings Burkini to his warehouse, and Burkini says, I'm taking some pictures, and I tell Scott at this point, I need to eliminate you as a suspect.
Mm-hmm.
They go to the police station, and he interviews Scott. And here's what Scott tells us. I have the timeline written up above. Okay, timeline. Christmas Eve, 8 a.m. Scott wakes up and says Laci is watching TV. At 9 a.m., he says Martha Stewart is on.
Yeah.
He says they're talking about meringue. At 10 a.m., they drive to the warehouse. At 10:30 a.m., he sends an email. At 11:30 a.m., he takes his boat out to the boat launch. At 2:15, he calls Laci. Oh, God, that voicemail.
Yeah.
I don't know why it just drives me bonkers because it feels so performative where he's like,
Yeah.
hey, beautiful, it's 2:15, just leaving the marina 90 miles from the house, so I can't possibly be murdering you right now.
Yeah.
Just wanted to know if you could go get the flowers for Papa or whatever. Like, stop.
Yeah, it doesn't feel, it's not even that he called her like, hey, beautiful, but it's the rest of it too. It just doesn't. And also, like, I know this is 2003, 2004. So I was trying to think back. I'm like, I wouldn't never leave my husband that voicemail. I would, and he wouldn't leave that for me. We would text each other. Right. But
Right. Because we did have texting then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Yeah, it just feels not natural.
It just felt not it felt like I'm trying to establish an alibi.
Yeah.
That's agreed. What it felt like to me. 5 p.m. he gets home. 4:30 p.m. he gets to the warehouse, unhooks the boat. 5 o'clock he gets home, and the dog Mackenzie is there and has her leash on. 5:10 he takes all of his clothes off and washes them in the washer and dryer.
Yeah. Did he well, I mean, I don't know if he's stinky from fishing.
He didn't catch any fish. He said he didn't catch any fish. He literally said that he was just trying to get the boat in the water. Threw a few lines. That was it. So maybe he did catch a fish, but he doesn't mention that. Like, he doesn't say.
Yeah.
5:17 he calls Sharon to ask if she's seen Laci. So that's his timeline that he gives police at the time.
But the most interesting thing is that what did they say? He drinks milk. He has a piece of pizza and he washes his clothes. Like, when I saw that, I was thinking, I'm like, if I have to like have a difficult conversation, like I have to tell my mom or something like, these plans I made with you, they're not going to work. We need to change them. And I know she's going to be disappointed. This is what I would do. I'd be like, okay, let me like kind of procrastinate and like, let me like do these things and then have this like hard conversation. That's what it felt like, which is not how I would act, to be like, I don't really know where my spouse is.
Now let me ask you another question. Don't you find it weird that he comes home, his wife is 8 months pregnant. Mm-hmm. He comes home, he's already tried to call her. She never called him back, right?
Yeah.
He gets home, the dog has the leash on. And the door's open in the back of the house. She's nowhere to be found. Are you going to like wash clothes and sit and eat pizza and drink milk? Like, Timmy would be like calling my phone. Like, he would be, where is she? What is, something's wrong.
Yeah.
I just thought that was weird.
Yeah. And I feel like from that, you can already tell, like, they were maybe like done. Like, he was at least emotionally done.
Totally checked out. I agree. Yeah, let's say there's a world in which he didn't murder her, okay? Mm-hmm. The dog on the leash, knowing she went to walk the dog, would be of great concern to me.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
sure.
Something's wrong here. Yeah. It's like on Little House, when the horse would come back to camp, you're like, oh, fuck, where'd the rider go?
Yeah.
He's dead somewhere now.
Yeah.
So Sharon after he discovers, Laci is missing, he goes to the neighbors and he tells them he's been golfing. Mm-hmm. And the neighbors say that, and Sharon and Ron show up and he tells them he was fishing. So again, that's not even the most damning part. Like that, let's take that even out of the equation. Maybe he was confused. Maybe whatever. Maybe the people he said that to got it wrong. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
So they're surprised that, and had no idea. Sharon and Ron are surprised, and they had no idea that Scott had this boat.
Yeah, which so I read that he claims that was supposed to be a gift for his father-in-law. Was that in this? That was in this. Yeah, yes. For Ron.
Yep.
Yeah. So maybe that's why they didn't know. But also, Laci apparently knew because she'd gone to the shop with him after he had the boat.
Yes. Laci, they think Laci knew about the boat.
Yeah.
We can't know. right?
Yeah.
But she never mentioned it to anybody. But you're like, if she's gone to the warehouse, she had to have known. So I don't know. So they're surprised. Like I said, Brocchini floats the polygraph by him. And in that moment, Scott says, okay, yeah, I'll set it up. And Brocchini's like, okay, I'll set it up for tomorrow. And he tells Scott, and this is a common practice amongst police. Like, we know we can't, it's not admissible, but like, just do it so that we know if we're on the right track or not here, right? Whatever. He says Scott was really chill, which was weird. Again, 8 months pregnant, missing.
Yeah.
Even Papini's husband was flipping out.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he literally had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Now we get Laci Peterson. Girl.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on her?
She
must have been in Scott Speaks quite a bit, was she?
Yes, she was. And the part that kind of maybe tied it together for me was when they start talking about how he was the golden child. He was the baby of the family, who was the biological child of both the parents that were married to each other at that point. And I just started to feel like maybe she's like felt like he's this like golden child little brother, and I feel like they must have like a very strange family dynamic, which is touched on a little bit in this documentary and in the Scott Peterson focused one on Peacock. And I think that, I don't know, maybe she's like projecting stuff from her own husband, that I don't think my own husband would do this, so how could Scott do this? Like, I feel like there's something going on there.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah.
Like, people might think I'm not a murderer, but that doesn't mean Jenny's not. She could totally murder somebody. So there, Janie says, sorry, got lost a second. Janie says, when we found out Laci was missing, it was Christmas morning. And Scott tried calling on Christmas dinner or on Christmas Eve, but we were at dinner and the call didn't go through. Okay. So did he not leave a message? Like, call me right away. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Susan, his sister, says it was very upsetting. And here's the thing about the Petersons. I do believe that the Petersons believe he didn't do it.
Yeah,
like, I think so. Janie, in her heart of hearts, 100% believes he is innocent.
Yeah, I agree.
It's unfortunate because I think he knows the truth and can release these women from this.
Yeah, and I think that he's like traumatizing his own family at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Peterson family go rushing up there because Scott was so beside himself. And she says Scott was the baby of the family and was a rule follower. He went to Cal Poly, and that's where he met Laci. All right. So now we have a little bit of a flashback. Heather Adams is Laci's friend from Cal Poly, and they studied ornamental horticulture together. And she remembers when Laci and Scott met, and she says Laci had gone to the restaurant, and Sharon's piping in on this story too, that Laci had gone to the restaurant where Scott worked and finally ended up writing her name and number on a napkin, and he inadvertently threw it in the trash. It's moments like these that you think about, like the sliding doors moment, right?
Yeah.
Like, if she just let him throw her number in the trash and never pursued it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so wild.
I know.
So Heather says Scott is very showy. He had flowers for her all the time, bombarding her with love and gifts. And she says today we would call it love bombing.
Yeah, that was really like something to think about. It just gives you a perspective of the kind of person he is. That mixed with the golden child, I'm like, that's not good.
He's top tier bro. He's a bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he's getting some broth in prison. I'm not sure, but he is a bro.
Yeah.
So now we learn, like you said, that he's the only biological child between Jackie and Lee, and he's the golden child. But Heather says the Petersons, they did seem to love Laci. Like, it was genuine, and they were good to her. Then we start the engagement countdown. When is he going to propose? When is he going to propose? And she says, and this is weird, that the proposal was really low key in their living room.
Oh, interesting.
That's weird to me because he's so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good point, because I know some people who've had like very low key engagements like that, and I don't think that's necessarily like ominous or bad.
Right. No. I had a low key proposal.
Yeah.
But if it's so antithetical though to your behavior and how you act as a person.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
That is weird. And I wonder if he just didn't want to get married, maybe.
Or be a father, have a responsibility, like,
Yeah. So they were still in college when they got married. So they had to be what, 20, 21?
Yeah. Yeah. It's very young.
Sharon talks about how cute Laci was as a kid. They called her Jabberjaw. Same. These jaws were always flapping. And she was 2 when her stepfather Ron came into her life. We get a lot of footage of Laci and her friends dancing in New Kids on the Block. A lot of it.
I know. That was cute. I love that song.
So what year would she have been born? Let's do some math here. So she was murdered in 2003, right? And she was 26?
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's my age.
Yeah.
She was born in 1977.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Or I could always look up Laci Peterson's birthday.
My older sister is the same age as you and her, and she used to listen to New Kids on the Block all the time. So I remember being 3 and 4 and just loving New Kids on the Block.
My math is real bad. For some reason, did this happen? This happened in 2002. I was saying 2004. So she was born in 1975.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But same.
Yeah.
So yes, loving New Kids on the Block. I can remember New Kids on the Block were a big thing when I was a kid, and I didn't like them. I chose to like Metallica and Guns N' Roses. And
okay.
Yes, I was going that route because that's what my idol, my older sister Jenny, liked.
Nice.
So I followed her, whatever she did. So now missing day 1. We're back to current time. We see footage of her dancing. We also see that they went to Roller King, which skating rinks were a big thing in my childhood as well. Yeah. So missing day 1, we meet John Bueller. He's a detective. Bueller says they were such a pretty couple and people started getting interested in the case right away. We meet Ted Rollins and Gloria. I forget her last name. Let me look it up. Gloria. Oh, I don't have it. Gloria Gomez. Sorry. Okay. I have her lumped under cops instead of reporters, but Gloria Gomez.
Yeah.
So Ted and Gloria were the reporters who, they're in a lot of documentaries about this. They were like real instrumental. Ted was first on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
The first theory, they say, is that Laci had walked the dog to the park and something happened. So they set up a search center at the Red Line Hotel and they're searching. Now we see this press conference with Roy Wasden. He was the police chief. And he's cagey about Scott fishing. He keeps using the word speculate. People are like, was Scott fishing alone? Well, we don't want to speculate on that. And the press is like, why are you using the word speculate? It's a little strange.
Yeah, I feel like they felt like he was guilty. And I don't love this because you're changing
the narrative.
There was such a and the media circus is going to go crazy, and I don't know that that's that productive for the case, but I'm not a police officer, so
I said when Amanda and I covered the murder of Laci Peterson, I said I believe Scott Peterson is guilty, but I don't believe they proved a case against him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I believe he's guilty, but the state didn't do a great job. Surpassing that burden of proof.
Yeah, and and they did some things that I think are not necessarily good for the public overall.
Yes, I agree. And this is why we have an appeal system, right? And this is why I'm glad that his death penalty conviction was overturned. Let's test the DNA on the van. Let's test it all. I think I know how it's going to come back, but go ahead.
But
and if I'm wrong, I'll eat those words.
Yeah, but in May, the state denied all the DNA testing except for the duct tape.
I saw it's real limited.
Yeah, which I also don't like that. Like, why can't we just test it and know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Scott wanted nothing to do with the media, but the friends are like, please talk to us. Please, So there was this juxtaposition between Scott, the husband, who's avoiding the cameras, avoiding the media, and then her friends who are like, get all the press coverage you can on this. Yeah. Let's get it out there. Let's get her picture out there. Let's, you know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah.
So Christmas Day, Scott's father, I believe, made the biggest mistake of the entire case when he advised Scott not to take the polygraph. That was the biggest mistake, I think, from his family.
Okay.
So he advises him not to take the polygraph. And I understand why. But I also understand that, like, I understand he was probably like, you know, we don't want a wrongful conviction here, blah, blah, blah. If they're already looking at you, you could be nervous. You could be. So why not? Why not just make sure that polygraph is the best it can be, right? Maybe bring in an independent agency, maybe let him take 2 or 3 and get a baseline. Like really kind of
I
set
just
the
think
conditions that you can.
I just think at that point, like, you know, they're going to ask him, did you have problems in your marriage?
Right.
Were you having an affair?
And
then
he's going to have to lie.
Well, yeah, or he's going to have to tell the truth. And either
Right.
way, he's going to come out a liar, or he's going to, all of that stuff was going to unravel, which
Yeah.
I think at that point he was trying to keep out of the press.
Do you think that Laci Peterson knew about Amber at this point, and that's why he told him not to take it?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, maybe he did tell his father.
Yeah. Or his father could just tell, like, I know my son's checked out and he's, you know, so in the other documentary, they said he was wearing a name tag at a mixer that was like horn dog or something.
Oh, I read that. Yes.
Yeah. And this just reminds me of Sam from the Ashley Madison documentary.
Yes.
You know, the vlogger.
Yes.
What was his name? Like Dirty Dog 123 or something. Like these men in their 20s, you know, they're not creative. So with their, So
no, and he clearly didn't want to settle down. So like, you have to ask yourself, like, then why did you, dude?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't sound like he had a super conservative traditional family that would have been putting pressure on him. I wonder if Laci pressured him to settle down, if that's what she wanted.
Yeah.
You know?
I think this reminds me of, like, I used to watch a lot of Dr. Drew back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Drew Pinsky?
Yes. Yeah. And he had one show about love addiction. And I started to think, I was like, maybe that's Scott Peterson. Basically, it's like people who are addicted to the beginning part of the relationship where you just like on a high and then they just keep seeking that, like someone would seek like a drug or another substance. Right. And he strikes me as like that kind of person, because even the way he was with Amber, it's like he didn't really want like a substantive relationship.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. And I think, you know, back in 2001, 2002, when this was all going down, we didn't have options to open a marriage or be in a poly relationship where you can fulfill those needs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Without being deceitful or, you know, breaking some kind of, and so like you either had to like cheat or not get married.
Right.
And I don't know. Hey everyone, stay tuned. Little Miss Recap will be right back after these words. Amanda.
Amy.
For our sponsor, Lumi Gummies today, I have an idea. I think we should do a rapid fire bonus round. Which 90-day celebrity stars need a Lumi Gummy or have taken a Lumi Gummy maybe?
Okay. Madeline.
Oh, I have her on my list too. Manon. Manon could really use indica.
Yeah, to calm her the fuck down.
Calm down a little bit.
I think Jenny could use a sativa to maybe up the energy a little bit, because there's none there.
Funny you mentioned Jenny. I have Sumit's aunt can use one to
definitely
chill out a little bit.
She definitely could use one. This is a wild card. Florian could use one. I don't know what variety.
Yeah,
but
maybe
I feel
he needs a hybrid.
I feel like Florian on a gummy would be good.
Yeah. I also have Dylan's mom from Dylan and Patia.
Yeah.
And I have Luke's dad of Luke and Madeline.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
And we can use Lumi Gummies as well.
Yes.
Yes.
All the time.
Consistent, mellow, and super delicious, Lumi Gummies are specifically designed to make you feel good, not stoned. Whether you're looking for an end-of-the-day de-stressor, a midday mood boost, or help getting the best sleep ever, Lumi Gummies has a strain that's right for you. So, Amanda, our flavor that we like a lot in this home is the sour strawberry cookie hybrid.
Ooh, is it particularly sour?
It's not super sour because I don't like sour things.
Yeah, I don't either.
But I just find that it's the perfect blend of up and down. It's right in the middle.
Nice.
But you feel good. I really like it.
I'm a hybrid girly myself, and I'm going to go with the watermelon sorbet because I do enjoy watermelon, and it's just a nice, cool, chill evening of watching TV.
You know what I need to do? I need to take one before Sister Wives comes out. Before I meet my arch nemesis in the ring.
Yes. I think it would help you a great deal. I think it would help Cody Brown a great deal.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, Lumi gummies are available nationwide. Go to lumigummies.com. That's LUMI gummies.com. Use code Little Miss Recap for 30% off your order. That is Lumi Gummies, LUMI gummies.com. Code Little Miss Recap. Lumis.com. Code Little Miss Recap. It's 30%. And the link is in the show notes if you guys need it.
Yeah.
So he is dodging Sharon's call at this point, and she says she pulled. This was interesting with this documentary. I wanted to see, and it was always a missing part of the story for me, as to Sharon's trajectory and to, like, she trusted him, she supported him. What happened behind the scenes? Do you know what I mean? I wanted to know that. So she says at one point in that first week, she pulled him aside and she's like, I need to know what happened. And she said, he didn't really have many answers for me. Like, he just told me he was nervous. That's why he didn't want to take the polygraph, because he was so distraught. He didn't think he could act like it would accurately reflect how the truth, I guess. Yeah. He tells her at this point that the boat was a surprise for Ron. Sharon says, look, we loved Scott and we wanted to believe that he was innocent. And I was hit with that at the end when they read the verdict and you see Sharon, and I was thinking to myself, the Rochas didn't want this.
No.
Anyone who thinks Sharon Rocha is celebrating that verdict,
no.
To know that not only was your daughter murdered, but to believe, right, that it was done at the hands of somebody you loved and treated as a child of your own. There's no winner here. Right. There's no winner.
I think she felt that it was the right outcome, but I don't think it was. I mean, I think the whole thing probably just tears her apart in every way.
Yep. Yeah. So the background of their relationship is that they moved back to Modesto. It was Laci's request that they move back. They had a lot of parties. The friends are very involved. They do a lot of stuff together. And so we meet these three friends of hers, and their names are, hold on, I have them. Friends. Lori, Stacy, and Renee. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You know, they collectively have a lot to add to this, but we don't get to know one of them more than the other.
Right.
So the friends are like, Scott was quiet, but, like, you know, he was fine. He treated Laci well. They seemed like newlyweds, you know?
Yeah.
And they had pool parties, and I remember this, when you used to have Sopranos parties, you would invite people over. So we didn't have Sopranos parties, but my sister and her husband lived across the street from me and my husband when I was married to my first husband. And we had 6 Feet Under parties.
Oh,
Jenny would come
cute.
over and we watched 6 Feet Under.
Nice.
So that was our show. I did watch The Sopranos, but 6 Feet Under was our show.
Nice.
So we see that Laci called Sharon crying at one point after her housewarming party. And she says she wants to have a baby and Scott doesn't.
Yeah.
6 months later, she calls and says, guess what? We're trying. And Sharon's like, well, what happened here? And she said, I don't know. Scott changed his mind. Now, she probably pressured him to no end.
Yeah.
I think.
I think so too.
Whatever. I mean, that's he neither here nor there. I mean, I'm not blaming her for that, but she probably really wanted it. In a journal, she writes about her sonogram, says she was so excited. Then in October, she writes that Scott felt the baby move for the first time. And that she was excited, but he was less so.
Yeah.
And she knows that deep down inside, he was really happy.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sharon was concerned that he changed his mind about this. Okay.
Yeah.
December 26th. Now we're back in current time. Okay. December 26th. So it's day 2 of the search. Scott's family's at Scott's house. They're making dinner. Burkini shows up. He wants to get permission to search their electronics in the house. And they say to Scott, and this is another thing, like, we never knew what they investigated, how they investigated this. But Burkini says, you know, we wondered if Laci had a stalker online that maybe Scott didn't know about. So, you know, they're running through everything that they're going to need. They have they wanted him to sign a consent. They had the warrant, but they wanted him to sign the consent. And Scott goes, where's the trust, Al?
Yeah.
I thought we were bros, man.
And he says, you don't expect me to sign this without a lawyer. Yeah. It's really funny when they relay the way he talks to them. He seems to always ask them a lot of, like, things in question form rather than actually making a statement, which I feel is very manipulative. But then I was like, they're definitely fucking with him because they already have the search warrant. So they're just trying to see his reaction.
Yes.
So I didn't like that then in the documentary, Brocchini says he always seemed guarded. And it's like, well, one would be guarded if they feel
he's
like
picking up on them
Yeah.
trying to manipulate him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Scott leaves. They search the house. Then they bring in this woman named Sharon Hagan. She's from the DOJ and she's in charge of violent crime profiling. And what they do is her team helps narrow down a crime scene. So like they kind of profile the various areas that you think the crime may have occurred, and they can kind of say, based on several environmental factors, we think it happened here, or we think it happened here. So she says the house looked really loved and well cared for and undisturbed. So she didn't think anything went down in the house. But she said, when we saw the boat trailer, that kind of drew our suspicion. And the boat was suspicious. And I agree with this. The biggest thing that is suspicious about the boat is that he bought it after he told Amber Frey that his wife went missing.
Yeah, that's huge. Like
huge. I never knew Shabnam. Like I never connected that those two things happened on the same day.
Yeah. And then the fact that he would say that his wife was lost.
Yeah. He lost
like
his
2
wife.
weeks
Thank
before.
You, yes.
Yeah, he lost his wife 2 weeks before. It's like, what are you, psychic now? This is just does not adding up.
It's not adding up. Either he did this or he is literally the most unlucky man on the planet.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he tells Brocchini on Christmas Eve that it was a last minute decision to go fishing that morning, but he had bought the license on the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
And the license, I guess it was like a 2-day license.
Oh, I didn't realize that part.
Oh, now I'm nervous I have that wrong. So the way that it's worded in this Vox article is he purchased a small fishing boat on December 9th, securing a fishing license valid for only 2 days just before Laci disappeared.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That is pretty damning also then.
Yeah, absolutely. So then we also have that he searched the bay tides on 12/8, December 8th.
Yeah.
They find that Scott has made a homemade anchor. And it is in the boat with no rope.
Yeah, that's pretty odd too.
There's also evidence that he made more of these anchors. And where are they?
Yeah.
Bueller says Al Brocchini's job was to clear Scott. Craig Grogan's job, was to build the case. So now we come to the robbery. Let's talk about the robbery.
Okay. So
they get home. The Medinas is the name of the family. They lived right across the street. They get home from their vacation at 4:30 on December 26th. Their house had been robbed while they were gone. So they left 10:30 on Christmas Eve, which is an hour after Scott claims that he last saw Laci alive. So Scott gets up at 9, leaves at 9:30. She's in the kitchen. She's watching Martha Stewart. She's like, I'm going to take the dog for a walk. He leaves. The Medinas leave at 10:30, an hour later. Scott's family really gloms onto this. They believe that the robbers had something to do with this. And one of their theories, and I wonder if they talk about it in Scott Speaks, they don't talk about it here, but I've seen it in the murder of Laci Peterson, where they think maybe Laci confronted the burglars.
Yeah, they do say that in the Scott Speaks documentary.
Sharon claims that Laci would never do that.
Interesting.
But we don't know, right?
Yeah.
We don't know. And that's hard to know. So here's the deal with the burglary. Some people saw a van in the neighborhood on December 24th. One woman described it as white, then she changed it to brown, and she was the most reliable of all of them with the timestamp, and she kept changing her statement. So she was not reliable.
Okay.
They eventually get 2 suspects, Stephen Todd and Donald Pierce, and they are like these low-level criminals, right?
Yeah.
They're drug addicts, they're criminals, and they come forward and they cooperate because they're like, we don't want to go down for this murder charge. Like, here, yes, we did the burglary, we did it,
Yeah.
They said they did it on the 27th. But the cops are like, there's no way because the Medinas were home.
Yeah.
So then it becomes, well, who's more likely to have this date wrong?
Yeah.
And Burkini, and no, it might be Ted Rollins. I can't remember who says it, but somebody says these guys, like, they're not like going home and checking their Google Calendar. Like, they didn't have
Right.
jobs. They, they kind of were vagabonds. Like, they didn't really stay in one location. So, like, the chances that they got the date wrong are high.
Right. And so one of the interesting things they said in the Peacock documentary was that there may have been like a bunch of burglars doing these holiday burglaries in that neighborhood, and so they could have gotten the dates mixed up there. But then they also, in that documentary, say that the witness that you mentioned, she said it was two dark-skinned non-African American people, and these were two white men, and so like that, maybe it was a different set of burglars that did that burglary, and they really don't have the right guys.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So, the neighbors say, we feel bad for Scott's family because they were really trying so hard to exonerate Scott.
Mm-hmm.
And they really were. So Stephen Todd and Donald Pierce, like I said, are the people, and they take lie detectors and they come back good, whatever that means.
Yeah.
How would you say that about a lie? They come back not deceitful.
Right.
Truthful.
He passed. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They fucking passed.
Yeah.
So, they settle on the 26th. They decide we're going to say it's the 26th because, these bums don't have jobs, basically, is what we were told. Scott's family believed it at first, but then they're like, wait a minute. On the 26th, there was a ton of media presence out there.
Yeah.
But, I was thinking about this long and hard. The burglars did say that they saw media presence down the street, but that they were still able to do it. And I was thinking to myself, so if she goes missing on the 24th and it's night.
Yeah.
Ted Rollins says he shows up December 25th, right?
Yeah.
He says he's down the street. The burglars were able, in a different thing that I read, there is an extensive online archive.
Okay.
I forget what it's called. I will try to find it and put it in the show notes, but they go through everything that Scott's family is saying proves his innocence, and they refute it with everything.
Interesting. Okay.
And one of the rebuttals was that in their statements, the burglars supposedly, allegedly, were able to describe where Ted was positioned, what he was wearing.
Oh.
So, like, they definitely saw him.
Okay.
If that
That's
makes
interesting.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, also, I was thinking, was there a huge media presence at that point? I don't know. And then maybe if there was, that's a great time to burglarize something because nobody's going to notice you.
That's what I was thinking. And especially with a van, it would just look like another media van.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. Good point. So they said they returned all the stolen goods. We went through everything. We found nothing to link them to this.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, they even begged to do a polygraph and they passed. They also had good alibis for the 24th.
Okay.
So Sharon Hagan says, in order to believe in Scott's innocence, his family had to glom on to improbable theories, but he is the source of his own doing. What brought Scott Peterson down was Scott Peterson.
Yeah.
And I agree with this.
Yeah, I agree as well. I agree.
We see Sharon and Scott's family all supporting Scott in front of the cameras, but then Amber Frey comes in. Okay, so that's episode 2, basically. 45 minutes to get through one episode. We're going to be here for 6 hours. Hope you have your schedule clear.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm good.
So in episode 2, the friends are saying that Laci's the one who started the Christmas parties, but that year was different.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't having her annual party because Scott was out of town. And where was he, Shabnam?
Sleeping with Amber Frey.
If I was Sharon Rocha, I can't even tell you.
Yeah. I know. That's why I just feel so bad for Sharon Rocha to feel like this is what was going on the last few weeks of her life. And she went to that party depressed, and her friends, and it's just, I wonder if she was thinking like, maybe she knew that he was having an affair, and maybe she was just like, well, I just want to like have my baby and I don't want to ruin this Christmas party. I'll talk to people about it after. And she's just kind of holding it in like that. That made me really sad to see that picture of her in the chair and like, yeah.
Yeah. And some people think that theory, like some people said that maybe she was suspicious and she confronted him, and that's what finally. But I feel like it was all premeditated. And again, I go back to the boat.
Yeah.
And my wife was lost. Like if Timmy told you and Amanda and Becca, like Amy's not going to be on the podcast anymore, you know, and then he goes out and buys a skid steer to dig a hole.
Yeah.
Start asking questions. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, but if he came forward and was like, oh, no, you know, we were going to separate, but then she was going to tell Amber, Frey something. And so I accidentally, we got in a fight and I pushed her and she hit her head or something. And it was murder too, like that. I would be willing to believe that if he said that. But the fact that he's saying he's innocent, it's like, you're not innocent. Like you can feel that there's too much. He's definitely not innocent. I could buy murder too if he said it, but not that's
Like there's a reason that we have a whole science dedicated to understanding why people do the things they do, the things they think, human behaviors, behavioral analysis is a whole thing because sometimes behaviors are predictive, right?
Yeah.
And everything he did here is, I mean, John Ockman, you know, he comes in and he's like, oh God, this guy did it.
Yeah.
This guy did it. So, all right. So like you said, she was depressed. They take the picture. After Amber calls the tip line. So this is another thing. Amber Frey was the real fucking hero here.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking to myself, if this were to happen today, would it have gone down the same way? Would the Amber Frey person in that position, would they maybe roast him on social media? Would they, you know what I mean? Like the fact that Amber called the police and then worked undercover to get all of those recordings, I don't know if that would have happened today.
Yeah, I think that Amber Frey would have come out a lot sooner and in a lot less, in a way that was less controlled by law enforcement.
Yeah, like in a public way, 100%. Or, you know, she could have just kept silent. Like maybe no one would even have because he wasn't putting anything on social media.
Yeah.
So like, would they have found her eventually? Maybe
from tapping his phone eventually if he was still calling her, but
maybe.
Yeah.
So Brokini and Bueller get down there. They wire her up. I love how they talk about, I ran to the Radio Shack across the street.
Yeah.
Grabbed some recording equipment. So Amber tells us a friend of hers introduced her to a single, lonely Skye Peterson. And he told her he was single and that he traveled a lot for work. And he said he was never married and he had no kids because he didn't want them.
Ooh, that's bad too.
She invites him to a Christmas party and he shows up with 3 dozen red roses. Love bombing.
Yeah.
I also heard Skye Borgman, I think, was talking about it, because they talked about their finances. Like they really did kind of live above their means, outside their means. They really did. Because he was a fertilizer salesman.
Yeah, I just don't think that he wanted to be in this like domestic life. I feel like he wanted to be like this 20-year-old that like, hits on women and, dates a bunch.
I agree. So somehow it gets back to one of Amber's friends that Scott is married. And that's another thing. Wasn't it so weird that this major case is happening and she had no idea?
Well,
that would never happen today.
Yeah, it just goes to show you the times, like how things have changed so much. Like you could actually just be wherever. I think she was like around Bakersfield or something. You could just be like a couple hours away and
Fresno maybe.
Yeah. And you just don't. You're not totally plugged in to the big cases. Yeah.
No. So it took her friend finding this out and she called Scott and said, you need to tell Amber or I'm going to tell her, which is interesting because what would have happened if it went the other way, right? What would have happened if Amber called him up and said, I heard you're married. Would he have said, I lost my wife? I don't know. We don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
So he's forced to tell Amber. He goes to her house. He's very upset. They're holding hands. He's like, I have something to tell you. And he says, I lied about being married. The truth is that I lost my wife and it will be my first holiday without her. He's crying. Amber's comforting him. Then he goes out and buys a fucking boat.
Yeah. And it just seems so manipulative that he's like crying so much about how he lost his wife. Like, it's almost like he knows that if he cries to her, she'll have sympathy for her and forget to ask him more questions, you know? And there's this very manipulative quality about him that you see throughout, and it's really just gives me the ick.
I agree. So a few weeks later, Amber's friend finds a news article of this missing pregnant woman named Laci Peterson. And she's like, is this your guy? Is this your new boyfriend? She's devastated, but also kind of terrified. And that's what makes her call the police.
Yeah.
The detectives are stunned, and we see the pictures of them from their Christmas party. And that's that famous one of her in the red dress, and they're standing in the doorway. So we hear the calls now. Scott tells her he's going to be in Alaska, Maine, and Paris over the holidays with his family. We hear him, Shabnam, calling from Paris.
Oh, this is so horrible.
This to me, one of the worst things.
Yeah. So it's just so disgusting that, like, from her, it was a memorial, right?
It was her candlelight memorial. His sisters are speaking. Sharon's speaking. Her friends are speaking. He didn't want to speak. And if you notice, he stays off camera.
Yeah.
And now people are like, oh, he didn't want to be seen on camera because he didn't want to be on the news.
Oh, because then Amber might see him. Yeah.
He calls Amber, oh, I'm by the Eiffel Tower. The fireworks are going off. So let's just take Laci out of this, right?
Yeah.
Let's say Laci was a fucking monster.
Yeah.
And they had a terrible marriage and he was trying to escape her. What about Connor?
Yeah,
are you not devastated that you're like, I was pregnant. I know how it feels to have a heartfelt attachment to the baby growing inside you that you love so much.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even, and at 8 months, that baby is almost born.
Yeah. I can't imagine this either. I just, and you know, I think it comes up later, but he sells her car. Like, he does all these things where it's like, why are you so like heartless? Okay, about your ex-wife, but like you're saying, your unborn child as well.
Guys, we're going to stop here with part 1. So check your feed. Part 2 is going to be right behind it because we just have so much to say. So Shabnam, thank you so much. Guys, if you want to support the show, please leave us a 5-star review. Check out, I don't know why you wouldn't listen to part 2, but I'll say again at the end of this, check out Shabnam's new podcast, please. Chai After Dark.
Yes, that's right.
Please check it out anywhere you listen to podcasts. And we'll be right back with part 2. Bye.